Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Trent Russell. I am the tech sales instructor at CourseCareers. Today, we are highlighting AC and her story breaking into tech. You have a really unique background, AC, based on the context you would share with me with buying the house, losing your job, being on unemployment, and really having to figure things out. So, can you share? What were you doing before you got exposed to CourseCareers? Why did you decide you wanted to get into tech? Can you just take us back to who you were just a few years ago and what led you to have to really find a way out?
Really, I like to say my journey in tech actually started a few years ago. I mean, it wasn't until February of this year that I actually started Course Careers, but my journey leading up to started a few years ago. In August of 2021, my husband and I purchased our first home, and then a month later, in September of 2021, I lost my job. And so it was a huge shock because we weren't financially prepared to just be on one income. And so we were literally down to the pennies, you know? And so I basically started, I had a good severance package that held me over for a few months. And then after that, I had to go on unemployment, you know? But if you've ever been on unemployment or know anything about it, you're not getting the exact amount that you get, you know, from your job. And so I was getting less than 50% of my income. And so that wasn't, you know, it wasn't enough. I needed basically more money. I needed more income. And so at that point, I had to even just go to the government and get assistance, you know, and that's not something that you feel proud of, but I needed help. And so I had to do that. And I went and got on food stamps because we needed some breathing room. And so in doing that, I also started dashing, door dashing just to kind of make ends meet. And then in January of this year, my husband and I decided to do a Daniel fast. We're spiritual people. And so we decided to do a Daniel fast. And we said, okay, in January, we made the decision to start in February. And so February came. And before I even found out about Course Careers, I was getting like notifications on my phone that my unemployment was getting ready to end at the end of March.
Hmm.
So I was, and then also my government assistance as well was going to be ending at the end of March. So I was literally going to be back to square one at zero by the end of March of this year. And so during the Daniel fast, God just revealed to me, like I saw a video of Anthony O'Neill, and it was with four people, actually five, because there was a husband and wife, but it was with Course Career alumni, and they were telling their story about how this course has changed their life. And so me, with no technical background, my background is in client experience and customer service, not sales really. And so I'm like, I'm just so intrigued by this video, but I have no background in tech. But for some reason, I could not stop watching this video. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go to the website. I went to the website and I looked at the free course that you recorded. And that's really kind of what sold me. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. And so I started in February and I finished in 14 days.
Wow. What a change of fortune there. Getting
Yeah.
the information, applying it, and then getting in the career path that you are in today, tech sales. How does it feel having gone from the unemployment to having to get government assistance to then getting exposed to, well, hey, there's this great career path in tech sales that I can break into and get a
Mhm.
high paying job perhaps without the experience? How does that feel having gone from where you were at just a few short years ago to today?
Yeah, I mean it's a blessing. It's a blessing. You know, there's no other way really to say it. It's a blessing. And I mean, just from the experience that I've learned from, taking the course, everything that I've learned in my job up until this point, and just the income on top of everything from where I was to now making more than I ever had even prior. It's just a blessing. That's really all I can say. I mean, it's just amazing because it's a complete transformation of where I was financially to where I am today.
How much did you know about the tech industry and sales development roles before going through the course?
I didn't know a lot. For me, I always equated tech and technology with the word hard. Like I felt like if you're in tech, if you're in tech, like you are smart, you have a degree, you're doing hard work, right? Like same with IT. I'm like that it seems like it was kind of went over my head. And so that's why when I was looking at the video of Anthony O'Neill, I'm just like, I don't know why this is is speaking to me for some reason. But I always equated it to being hard. But the way you guys broke it down, or the way you broke it down during the course, it made it relatable because, again, although I never had any experience in sales or tech, to that matter, I had experience with customer service. So I have that experience, that advantage of actually just speaking with someone. So I'm already comfortable on the phone. I'm already comfortable kind of with that exchange. And so I just took everything you told me with what I had and I kind of meshed it together. And it was like the perfect world.
How did the course prepare you to then go on and land interviews and find your job today?
Yeah. I mean, everything that you guys said, I utilized. Every single thing from, revamping my resume, and also you guys, specifically with the interview questions and preparing for that part, that really helped me because I studied that. And a lot of those questions I was asked on the interview. And then also even the part about like the LinkedIn account. I had a LinkedIn account, but I never used it. I had a LinkedIn page
Mm.
for years. I never utilized it. And so the way you guys kind of teach the way that we're supposed to start setting everything up, it just prepared me because my company actually on the application, they asked for my LinkedIn name, my profile name. And so I'm like, okay, I'm so glad that I have this together because if not, I wouldn't have had anything there, or I wouldn't have even known what to put there. So the fact that you guys tell us and help us, like show us and guide us what to put on our page, like step by step, that really prepared me and it helped me, honestly.
What specific lessons or learnings from the course applied to then your interview phase and process?
Well, I would definitely say as far as the lessons, the spin selling was huge, because that was one of the big things that I think a lot of people, just from what I've heard, like I'm still in the Discord chat and everything, I feel like that really prepared me because I was able to break that down. I like to take on a challenge, and for some reason, spin selling, I felt like it was more of a challenge because you have to really, number one, understand what you're doing. But the way you guys broke it down, I'm like, okay, I need to study this because I feel like if I'm going to be in sales, this is definitely going to be utilized. And it's also going to be something that they're going to ask me during my interview. And so I had to really get that part down. And so in doing that, it helped me. Like everything that you guys were teaching us, especially during that last portion, as far as the interview prep, resume, building, that really helped and kind of solidified my job when I did the interview, I feel like.
You mentioned 14 days or so to land the job.
Yeah.
What did your journey look like from the time you started Course Careers to then the time you ended up getting interviews and landing the job?
So like I said, in March, I knew that I was going to be back to zero. So I had a game plan. Like every step, I had a goal that I needed to hit. So for me, I knew that I had about 30 days to finish the course, look for a job, prepare, get everything ready, do interviews, and then have a job. I knew that I needed to at least have a job down packed by the end of March. And so when I started the course after looking at your video, I paid for the course. And then the next day, I kind of got started. Like I started as far as ordering the books because I knew that was a big part and I didn't want that to slow me down. And so I ordered the books and I was listening to them on audio because that was helping me. And as I was going through the books, I was taking my notes. So that saved a really like large chunk of the time because I was able to get through all three books in 3 days. Because again, I wasn't working, so I had plenty of time. I had nothing but time. So I focused on getting the information from the books. And then I started taking the course and I basically mapped it out. Like there's 5 modules. So I did a module every day. And then at the end of that module, I said, okay, I actually had to have minor surgery. And so I took maybe 3 or 4 days kind of just to, for my health. And then I was like, okay, it's time to study, get ready, and prepare for this final exam. And so that's what I did. So for a few days, I prepared and practiced for the final exam. I was retaking all the quizzes from the course until I got 100%. And then I also, for the pre-exam or the practice exam, I took that several times as well. And then until I felt like I was prepared, and I went and I took the test. I passed on the first time, and so I was like, okay, that's one part down. Okay, now it's time to start getting everything prepped out and ready for my interviews. And so that's what I started doing. And so I'll say that was 14 days total from the time that I paid for the course to the time I finished, 14 days to actually finish. And then 10 days after that is when I actually landed my job.
How many companies did you end up interviewing with?
That's the crazy thing. I actually only interviewed with one company. I applied for about, I want to say maybe around 20, because and this is, I'm very spiritual. And so this is why I say God is good. But I, I interviewed for one company. I applied for on a Friday night. I applied for like maybe 20 companies on Indeed as well as LinkedIn. And then on Monday morning, I had got an email from one of the companies. And that company, sent me a link to get on their schedule. And so I set the interview up for Wednesday, did the first interview. I got asked to come back the very next day to do the mock sales call. I did that and I got offered the job. So that was a total of 24 days in my journey from start to finish.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible. And I'm sure an inspiration to so many.
Yes.
What was the most challenging part about navigating that process and landing the job?
As far as the like doing the interview and everything.
I think it's great to simplify things down and just say, hey, I did the course, 14 days,
Yeah.
get the interview, 10 days, get the job, and now
Right.
everything's changed, which is incredible. And it's no easy feat to go complete a section a day and just, you mentioned having all this time and then
Mm-hmm.
health complications. You clearly worked really hard for this.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging part about this? Because I'm sure people are listening. They're like, "Wow, well, if it's that easy, if AC's doing it, I can do it too." But what was the hard part for you that perhaps in the moment was most
Mm-hmm.
difficult?
I mean, honestly, the hard part was actually doing the module every day because,
Mm,
you have some people that finish in a few months. Like some people are working full-time jobs, so they can only dedicate maybe a few hours a day to this. I knew that I had a goal. And so for me, actually completing one module, it took a few hours. And so actually having to be on my own case and say, okay, you have, a goal that you have to hit, the reason why you have to hit it. And so actually staying committed to my goal. So every day I'm like, okay, I'm getting up like I'm going to work. I'm sitting at my dining room table with my laptop open. I have my notebook. I'm taking notes, take a few breaks here and there, but I had to dedicate. So actually staying committed and being dedicated, that was the hardest part. That's the hardest part about anything in life because yeah, getting over the hurdle, it seems like everything was so easy, but you're in the thick of it. It's very, it can be very stressful. And so taking time away from my family as well, because reading, these 3 books for 8 hours, listening to them on audio 8 hours a day, that's taking time away. And then doing a module for hours a day, that's taking time. And so, but they knew before I got started, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be locked in for the next couple of weeks. So give me some time. And so I just had to get it done.
Do you think you would have landed the job without Course Careers?
Oh no, no, there is no way. There is no way. First of all, I wouldn't have even been applying for this job. That's the part. Because again, at first I equated tech to hard. And so I'm like,
Mm.
it's no point. I didn't even think you could get a job in tech without a degree. So I would not have even applied for the position that I have right now. And I wouldn't have even been looking for jobs in, remotely close to that. And so, but the fact that I had knowledge and you guys, had such a really detailed training that helped me and it gave me confidence going into the interview. So I know definitely if I had not taken the course, I wouldn't be right here right now talking to you.
Now that you're in this high paying career in tech sales, how do you imagine your life will change over the next few years?
I mean, my life has already started to change, honestly. I mean, it's so crazy. I have podcasts lined up, interviews with people wanting to hear my story. I'm building a personal brand just from the motivation that you guys gave, that Trent gave during there's a section in the on the website where he's like telling you how to go out and start, making money. And I'm just like, okay. And so I took that advice and I started. And I'm just like, this is so crazy how my life has just been changing over literally two months ago. It's literally been only 2 months. And so over the next few years, I plan on just continuing to build out my personal brand. That's what I'm focused on right now. Investing the extra money that I have right now into my personal brand. And then also my husband and I are getting out of debt. We've been able to pay off one credit card already. And so that's a goal that we have by the end of this year is to get out of debt. And so we've already started to do that. We've started, investing, doing things that we wanted to do, but we felt like we never had the finances to do it. So we have so much more breathing room right now to just do these things.
Now that you're in this new career path, and I know it's only been a few months now, how does it
Mhm.
compare to what you were doing previously?
Well, as far as if I'm talking about just my job, I mean, I'm still on the phone because, like I said, I come from a customer service background. So being on the phone, that's something I'm used to, and I think that's why it's comfortable. But the conversation is different, right? But as far as like comparing what I do daily, I mean, I have so much more drive when I clock into work because I'm like, I have right now my job, there's no cap to how much I can make as far as with commission. So the fact that I'm like, I can go to work today and, I can literally make 3 sales if I need to, or if I really want to focus, I have a goal, something I can work toward. Whereas my last job, I clocked in, I clocked out, I'm getting paid the same every day. So I'm like, I have a chance to like double my income, honestly, by the end of the year if I wanted to, like if I really worked hard. And it's the opportunity to be able to do that.
What advice would you have for someone, AC, and this is the final question, that's looking to change their life as you did yours, but they may be on the fence about enrolling in Course Careers and getting started?
Yeah. The first thing I would say is to change your mindsets. That's something that I, preach, and that's something that I coach on, is changing your mindset, because you can't go into this with the wrong mindset. Because even if you go through the course and you get a job and you start making money, if you don't have the right mindset to do, things differently with your income that you're getting, which for some people is going to be way more than they ever made, you're just going to lose that money. And eventually you're going to end up losing your job because you don't have the right mindset. So I would say, first of all, be in the right mindset, be ready to take on, this journey, and, give yourself a chance, invest in yourself. I honestly, like I said, I thought that tech was super hard. I'm not saying that it's not, and I'm not going to, sit here and say, oh, tech is super easy. But at the same time, if you want to take a chance on your life and you want to see a change, you're going to have to take that risk. So invest in yourself. That's what I'm doing. That's my word for 2023 is invest. And that's what I'm doing. And it's paying off.
Well, we're all getting better collectively, AC.
Yes.
Fantastic story,
Thank
and
you.
I love the energy you brought here today. I hope that this was useful to everyone listening. We've linked the free tech sales intro course below for anyone that's interested in just learning more about what is tech sales, sales development, what you would be doing, how to actually get started. So I would encourage anyone listening right now that does want a change to go visit Course Careers in the link below to check out that free intro course. AC, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. Bye, guys.